A lot of middle class people, a lot of folks like you and me, who really are saving each and every penny, doing their monthly SIPs, doing their monthly installments for mutual funds. For them, it really is the entry into a luxury sedan. Well, so the big question in 2024 is that should you consider buying a sedan, and in particular, should you consider buying the Honda City? Now, the City badge has been a tried and tested badge for over 25 years in the Indian market. It really has proved its record in terms of reliability, in terms of performance, in terms of fuel efficiency, in terms of backseat experience. It really is the benchmark. And in today's video, we'll talk about all the positives, maybe a few negatives as well, and tell you whether you should still consider buying this car or whether you should follow the trend, follow the herd mentality and go for that mid-size or compact SUV instead. My name is Ashim Masih. If you come to this channel for the first time, please do subscribe to it. And if you want to watch this video in Hindi, please follow our other channel, Times Drive. We'll put the link in the box below. Let's get started with the Honda City for 2024. Well, so when it comes to the backseat experience, no other car in this segment beats the Honda City. And in fact, a lot of cars in the entry or the mid-size SUV segment also don't come close. In fact, it's the best car if you have a budget of 20 lakh rupees for the backseat experience. And what do I mean by that? Well, as you can see, knee room is sufficient. It's pretty good actually. Headroom also is more than adequate for someone who's my height, which for reference is 5'10". But apart from that, the backrest angle is very good. The overall seat cushioning is very good. Support for your low back is very good, and of course you also get an armrest where you can keep a couple of beverages. The floorboard, it's got a little hump, but it's not too much, so it's really a floorboard which can easily accommodate the feet of all three occupants at the back. You get your own AC vents as well, and the best point about this car is the fact that the window area is nice and large, which really gives it a very premium, very airy feel. In fact, I think that this is a great way to enter the luxury segment, because a lot of middle class people, a lot of folks like you and me, who really are saving each and every penny, doing their monthly SIPs, doing their monthly installments for mutual funds. For them, it really is the entry into a luxury sedan, and I think that this car is the best in the business when it comes to pure comfort as well as opulence. I'll give the back seat of this car a strong score of 11 out of 10. Now let's jump in the front seat and tell you some more details, some positives and some negatives about the City. Let me just say that forget SUVs, just forget all the SUVs out there and buy this car on its own pure merits. A lot of people used to buy the Honda City. It used to be a very loved car, but suddenly the rage for SUVs made people go mad, and people started, just going for SUVs, whether it was a pseudo SUV or a hatchback on stilts, or whether, it was a genuine SUV. People don't care, but they just want that SUV body style. So I would suggest you forget that SUV look, SUV body style, and simply go for the Honda City. Now, there are lots of reasons to like it, but let's start off with the negatives first, because if I don't start with the negatives, then you might say that Honda has paid me money to say only positive things. So the first big negative that this car has to offer is the ground clearance. Yes, the ground clearance of this car isn't the best. It's not the best in terms of driving on broken patches of road or driving on the highway. It's quite good for driving in the city. The driving in the city isn't an issue at all. But when you want to take it out for that long distance journey, then the ground clearance is something which can be a bit of a negative thing, because it can just bottom out in some place. It can just hit some rough patches of road. So the bad ground clearance definitely made its presence felt when I was driving this car recently, driving this car from Delhi up to the hills, and I could feel this car. It did scratch a few badly patched roads. It did feel like the underbelly did scratch a few of those badly patched roads. So that's something which is the best on this car, and that's something which has to be improved, because a lot of people use these cars for highway trips as well on a regular basis, and it's really on the highway that you can find out that some of those badly patched roads do scratch the underbelly of this car. So that's one big negative. The second big negative, and one area of major improvement for the Honda City, is in the fact that this car needs a better touchscreen. Yes, this current touchscreen is okay, it's decent, it's okay to operate, but it's not really that good. It needs a better touchscreen, it needs better sound quality, the interiors, because it's a premium car, it's a posh car, it falls into the entry luxury segment. Definitely, it needs a better sound system and a much better touchscreen. The current one, it's difficult to navigate through. The menus, sub menus are very average, and really The fonts, the design, everything feels very outdated. So that's another area of weakness for this car, especially if you consider the Hyundai Verna, which is really good. It's got a very slick touchscreen. And also, if you consider the VW and Skoda range of cars, they aren't the best, but definitely they're better than the Honda City's infotainment unit, the Honda City's touchscreen. So that's something which also is one area where Honda needs to improve. Well, apart from all this, Honda also needs to improve on the air conditioning. The air conditioning on this car is okay if you are, driving in about 38 or 36 or 39 degrees. But once it goes beyond 41, 42 degrees, it does take a long time to chill the cabin. So that's something which I think Honda needs to improve on. I think, Honda has improved it quite a bit over the years, but I think it still needs to improve a little bit, because this year the summers in Delhi and the northern part of India have been brutal, to say the least. So that's also one department where Honda needs to improve and make the city an all-round package, because that's one area of big weakness for the Honda City. Now, sit back and grab a popcorn packet or something, because there are lots of positives as well to talk about this car. Now, the first big positive is the fact that this car offers you a very nice and peppy petrol engine. Yes, this engine is a phenomenal unit, 1.5 non-turbo, naturally aspirated, no hybrid system with this engine. Of course, there's a hybrid version available, but that's another car. This one is with a manual. There's also an automatic option, but we'll talk about the automatic on some other day. It's a phenomenal engine. A lot of other car companies, the accountants or the marketing people are deciding what goes into the car, what doesn't go into the car. But when it comes to Honda, I think the engineers have their say. I think the engineers just design it the way they want it to be, and it shows. As soon as you start this car, the engine comes alive and it makes you feel very good, because it's a very responsive engine, it's a very quiet engine, and the iVTEC engine is a very rev happy engine. It goes all the way up to its red line, about 6,500 RPM without any fuss. So if you are somebody who's a boy racer and he just loves to rev and go from red light to red light, zip around, don't do it. But in case you want to do that, you will have some fun in this car. Also on the highway, because it has a 6th gear, the flexibility of the engine is greatly enhanced. So what that means is that noise levels are very minimal inside the cabin, and fuel efficiency also is greatly enhanced. Yes, this car delivered me about 17 kph on the highway, which are very good figures, and I did a tank-to-tank method. Of course, on the onboard trip computer it showed about 18.5, but when I did the tank-to-tank method, it showed about 17 kpl, which in itself isn't bad at all, considering I was traveling with my family with the AC on, and sometimes I was stuck in traffic as well. So good figures because of the engine and the gearbox. But apart from this, what you'll also really enjoy about this car is the ride comfort. Yes, the ride comfort is another positive. It's a big positive, because this car offers you a very good ride. It soaks in the bumps. It offers you a crispy ride. It offers you confidence-inspiring ride when the highway is there, when you're doing speeds in excess of 100 kph. And the city, it just soaks in the bumps without any fuss whatsoever. So yes, for people who always complain about some German cars or some European cars which offer you stiff suspension, no such issues with the Honda City when you're driving it, because the ride comfort of this car generally is very good, first-rate ride comfort, and it's the best car again in this segment, and of course at this price point for sheer ride comfort. Even though it's been around now for about 4 years, it still is a very good looking car and a very smart looking car. And the thing about Honda cars is the fact that they don't age easily. Yes, they take their time to age, and even after 4 or 5 years or 6 years, when it's time to resell these cars, when you look at them, they still look good. Even the Civic, which was launched way back in 2006, is still quite good to look at. When you see it on the road, you might see a 10-year-old car, 11-year-old car, 15-year-old car. Even those cars look quite good, but 15-year-old cars aren't, easily available in Delhi and NCR region. But of course, if you live in Mumbai and some other parts of the country, you can see them. So yes, the Civic, even the last generation of the City, still they look modern and fresh. And even this one, I think, will age quite graciously, like all other Honda cars do, or most Honda cars do. So that's also something you need to keep in mind. So pricing, that's another big positive, because the base version of this car starts from about 12 lakh rupees, and for about 12 lakh rupees you get all the basics: power steering, air conditioning, and of course airbags, as well as ABS is available on that car, the base version. And of course the one next to it gets alloy wheels and stuff like that, which makes it quite a good deal for the price. So what I'm trying to say is that the Honda City is a very well engineered car. It's a good value for money car, and it's a car which will definitely keep you happy in the long run. Well, so in today's video, we saw that the Honda City offers you a very roomy backseat experience. It offers you a very punchy and very creamy petrol engine. It also offers you premium high quality, and of course, the pricing is the icing on the cake. It really is a car which is a steal at this price, and especially the base version of this car really are phenomenal in terms of the value that they offer. So what I'm trying to say is that if you're in the market for a car between 12 to 18 lakh rupees, forget that compact SUV, forget that mid-size SUV, and simply go to a Honda dealership and check out the City. It really is the best of everything. And of course, it does have one or two issues, because every car does. Which car doesn't have issues? But as a package, it is really phenomenal. I'll give this car a strong score of 92 out of 100. Do remember that the Honda City isn't just any other sedan. It is, at the end of the day, the Honda City. Bye for now, and thanks so much for watching this video.